Hey guys, it's your boy Fix It Daniel. So I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on with the bike. So the bike is still sitting here. Why? Because we have been doing a tons and tons of research, tons and tons of trial and error, starting the bike, taking it apart, checking this, checking that. I got some new, the right feeler gauges for it, and that seemed to help, but it didn't do much of anything. It didn't change the way it made the noise. It didn't change anything. So we got it lashed right with everything we could think of, and it still doesn't do it. So what did I do? I pretty much started tearing apart the bottom part. So we took off the variator belt, and it'll still spin and still run because this is just turning the rear tires. So we took off the belt, which we do need to order a new belt. I took off the variator, and then when I took off the variator, I started the bike up, and all the drone noise that we thought was the crank ended up moving up towards the valves. So, because when we had everything all buttoned together, the noise was being confusing. Couldn't tell if it was down here, couldn't tell if it was up there. It sounded like it was both. We just couldn't tell. So I took off the variator and I checked the shaft on this side, lifting it up and down, pushing it in and out. Nothing. It's solid. So I think the crank is okay, but we are going to order a crank anyway and have it on hand, so that way if we decide to go ahead and just change it, we'll go ahead and change it, because I'm thinking it might be a good idea just to go ahead and make it a whole fresh new inner parts. We already got a new piston and rings. I don't want to get those destroyed, so we are going to continue to get this thing right before we get those destroyed. We have to get some new rings, but the valve is good, but the top part, the springs, the roller rockers, the cams, those are all from the old bike when it had thrown a rod or it had thrown valves and the piston was all mangled. Those are being reused. So I'm thinking that those are worn, bent, or however what they are. They're still making the ticking noise. So the good idea would be to replace it with brand new stuff, 100% brand new stuff, brand new valves, brand new springs, everything, brand new rollers, brand new cam. That's what we're going to be doing, because this is getting a little bit tiring and I'm throwing parts at it, just trying to get this thing to work. And I think, like the guy was talking to a guy locally, he was saying that when the valves got thrown and it busted into the piston, I should have just replaced everything from the bottom up. So I'm going to roll with that. We're going to get a new crank. We're going to, even if it's a good crank or bad crank, we're going to get a new crank so we can basically check all the scenarios of why it's not running right. So we're going to get a new crank. We're going to keep the piston and the rings in the middle. Those are brand new. We're going to keep the housing. It's brand new, but all the inner guts, even the new valves I just put in, are going to be changed with some fresh new ones. So this whole entire end from the crank all the way up will be brand new. We're going to get a new valve timing chain adjuster. We're going to get a new one of those. Probably you either get the same one with a new spring, or we will just get a manual one. I haven't decided that yet, but I will figure it out before then. So I am not tearing this bike apart. The motor is not coming out until the parts start coming. And then we are going to be taking it out, and the motor is not going to go back into the bike until we get everything right. So if the crank comes and I say, you know what, forget it, we're just going to do it, I'm going to do it. And the valves are definitely going to get redone. I got to go get another tool, because the tool that I used, I took back. Now I have to go get an actual tool to redo these valves, to do them the right way, so we're not struggling and straining myself. So that's the plan that we are going to be doing with this bike. I truly am sorry that I have nothing to show on this, because everything is trial and error. Everything's been researching. And on top of that, all the parts that I'm getting are coming from overseas, because this bike is rare. This bike is discontinued. So all the parts I got to get have to be brand new from overseas, which sucks, but it is what it is. I think that is it. The bike, everything on this bike works. Everything on this bike wants to run. Everything on this bike just needs to be upgraded and with new parts. And then once we get these new parts in, hopefully when everything is all brand new and all in and all right and all tuned and all timed and everything, we will have a turnkey running and driving bike. Cross my fingers, hopefully. Hopefully there's no other issues, and hopefully I've checked all the issues that it could be to stop this thing from running right. So I'm hoping that with everything that I've done, this will be it. Because I've gotten a little strenuous with this thing. I want to just call this bike done and just give up, but I can't give up. It's not in me to give up on something like this that's so close to getting it right. And all it just needs to be is just we're replacing it with brand new parts. I feel like that is the issue. It is something internally. It's not the outside stuff. Everything on is working. The AC, the coolant is flowing properly. The throttle body just needs to be tuned a little right. I think I got it tuned perfectly right now as a base. So once we get it actually running right and timing and lashing right, I believe this thing will be perfect. Everything else, all the computer components, everything works. Everything works, and everything wants to be ridden and driven. So I am not going to give up on this, not just yet. If I get all these parts in and it doesn't work, then we have some other issues to worry about. But right now, we are just basically trying to get this to be running completely and utterly right. So I appreciate you guys waiting. I'm sorry I don't have any videos on this bike. I have to stop the series and wait for parts to come. It's just the name of the game, especially when you get it from overseas. You just have to wait. So you guys be patient. I'm going to be patient, and we will get back on this. But we will get on other builds. We will definitely be getting on some other stuff while we wait. So this is just going to have to be put on hold for the time being. But thank you guys for watching. Please keep watching and giving your love and support, and I appreciate it. You guys have a good, blessed day. Until the next time.